Hello, I am Overdevest, the Portfolio Manager of Fidelity Investments Canada. With the recent tariff news, we thought to give you an update. What does it exactly mean? A number of years ago, our tariff or effective rate to the US would have been almost zero. More recently, it's about 5%. With the recent news, we're now potentially moving to high single digits. Why this is important is that it affects many industries, and sadly, it's probably more small and medium-sized businesses than even some of the larger companies. For the audience, keep in mind the Toronto Stock Exchange is usually the bigger companies, and many of the bigger companies also include banks or resources, and resources are excluded from this. Most of our goods still going to the US is USMCA compliant and do not have a tariff. But this will affect jobs in some smaller and medium-sized businesses and will, of course, affect just business sentiment in general or confidence in investing in Canada. So where we stand with that, what do we expect going forward? First of all, the negatives are it's a very uncertain time. You could have tariffs actually go up even further from the US administration, for which I've already talked about. You also, as we're hearing, is retaliatory tariffs. And of course, our Canadian government will have to watch. You want to have maybe retaliatory tariffs against the US, but you don't want to hurt us Canadians. Example would be we could put tariffs on machinery for farming or construction. That may hurt our farmers here paying higher prices or construction workers, which would not be good. So that is the potential negative. The positive I would take away, though, is that we were very close to a deal. I know it doesn't feel very good right now, but we were close. And so often with these times of uncertainty, you have to understand there could be threats both ways, and then very quickly a deal could be done of some sort. And that's just the nature of the recent negotiations with the US and Canada and other nations. We talk about the banks. What's their effect? Right now, they've reserved actually a very high amount for tariffs already. We'll hear this week what they have to say. I'm sure they'll be a little more cautious, uncertain, just because of the different variables that could happen. But a large amount of the reserves already were for a very negative case for tariffs. Now, when we look further out in terms of resources, it's very interesting. The US government has not touched resources in this recent move. So that's uranium, potash, nitrogen, oil and gas are not been touched, copper in particular. And why that's important is that it's a big part of our economy. So that's a big positive that's not being touched by these tariffs. And those commodities in this country we have, much of our growth is built off that. And that's one of the last things I'll say. This Canadian country probably will not stand still. Our administration, our people will move forward. And one of the ways we could do that is with public policy driving money into certain investments to help the economy in this time of need. So I wouldn't just say this is a status quo. We will, of course, respond by hopefully helping out Canadians. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.